Still waiting on the power AC cord and the Elgato cam link. So those are still coming. Once I get those, I'll set that up. Ooh, okay. Find the Kayle. Find the Kayle. Actually, no, let's have fun. Find the Fizz. Aurelia. Aurelia with sword. We should probably just take the Aurelia with sword. No! God, at least I got Kayle. Thanks for all your hard work on the game. Just wanted to let you know it's appreciated. Did you see there being a Riot-sponsored competitive scene at endpoint? Yes. Riot-sponsored competitive scene still coming. Have you considered putting back one-cost units as a carry? I think of Cassin from set 1 or Cogno from set 2. Yes. One of the things we're looking at right now is that we think 3-starring one cost is too hard. So we do think there's some work to be done there. And although I will say the new Galaxy, the reroll one, we do start to see a lot more one-cost carries. I mean, we can just Morello Kayle right off the bat. That's, like, really strong. I mean, we also have 3 Blade Master already. That's fun. Any updates on spectator mode? Nope. If I did, I wouldn't update it on my stream. Like, I would update it when it's ready. It's probably been answered before, but can you explain the decision behind making Vel'Koz ult someone outside the map? Nope. It's fixed next patch. Ezreal feels too weak right now. Maybe we can increase his impact to enemy mana at higher stars. Also, is there a chance to buff GP? Buffing Mana Reaver while nerfing GP seems too overwhelming. Aesol seems irrelevant right now, too. That's a lot of questions all at once. Aurelion Soul's getting a buff. Ezreal we think is fine. He's a utility character, not a damage character. And GP will probably have to wait a patch before he can get his buffs. Vel'Koz will stall ulting the enemy. It will certainly be improved, yes. Is the delay to see the champs when Lilac and Nico mode starts designed or a bug? It is fixed next patch, is what I'll say. Alright, so this is Morello, and if we wanted to be really jerk, we could make an IE and get a Valkyrie early, but I think we'll wait on that. Alright, because we got such a good start, we got the Kayle, I'm gonna greed this. This is really risky, but... Ooh, red buff Blaster Jinx, wow. That's actually, that could beat us. Yep, damn it! The greed didn't pay off! Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Does Rudon's spread a Kayle enhanced auto attack? No. Though I continue to find it interesting that that's people's expectation that it does. Does Infinity Edge increase the ability crits? Only if you have Jeweled Gauntlet or Valkyrie. Any plans to bring TFT to iPad? Current solution is just stretch the iPhone version. Yes. I mean, it's coming at some point, but honestly, like, I play on iPad right now and it plays just fine. So, it's not a huge priority, but it'll come. I just played 4 times in a row on Lilac Nebula. Is that even legal? It's definitely legal. It's just very unlikely. No Blade Master procs on Kayle. There we go. Yay! Are there any plans to rotate sets? Is it a new set one-time thing? We would love to bring back sets at some point. But then again, I do think there's some like nostalgia there where it's like, I think there are parts of set 1 people like, and then when they realize they have to play against Phantom again, They will not be as excited. Even better, just have all the sets at the same time. That's how you dilute a queue. I know it's been talked about before, but the lack of chrono on Echo feels weird. Yep, it would. Would it be too OP to add a third tag on him? I don't think Cybernetic needs the buff. I like the idea, I just don't think Cybernetic needs the buff. Oh no, Kayle got hit. That's bad. We might lose this. Yep. Yeah, I don't like Kayle with no tears, personally. Alright. Armor or tier, in that order. Yeah, I agree. Kayle without mana feels rough. I agree. How does the demo spat interact with Kayle Jinx? Jinx it doesn't. Kayle, when she casts, she can then stun each enemy once. BM spat for Jhin gives him a bunch of AD. Why did you nerf tier? The difference between having a tier and not having a tier was too severe. I think there would have to be some unit trait reworks to make old sets more fun. I agree heavily. What is this? Oh, I should actually probably update this. Oops. Because we got kicked off. There we go. Sorry about that. The change on tier is -5 mana. It's 15 mana instead of 20 now. So. Are you thinking of adding a new way to teach players some of commonly used but not super obvious strategies such as scouting? My friend was complaining that, I quote, I should have to look at everyone's board to win the game. Okay, so this is a common design problem. I want to talk about this a little bit. Oftentimes, a lot of people have this expectation that things be handed to them, right? This is like, oh, that's a cool bug. Why does it show me in Earth mode? Where it's like, hey, fighting games should teach me exactly how to play. They should teach me every element. I shouldn't have to understand and learn these terms. But we find that usually the most, like, engaging games that you stick with for a long time, for years, are the games that actually do the exact opposite, because there's a lot of players that like enjoy the mystery of, wow, we hit a Kayle naturally, of trying to understand and learn a complex game. Like, that's exciting to them. And oftentimes in a lot of games that have these in-depth tutorials, like a lot of fighting games have tried to solve this problem with like really in-depth tutorials. And what ends up happening is nobody uses them, because it doesn't magically solve all the problems. There's just a large group of people that don't want to learn that type of game, right? Like, some games require mastery to get better. So, yeah, Dark Souls is a great example. Dark Souls is a game that doesn't hold your hand. You have to learn it, and because you have to learn it, people find it exciting and engaging, so. So, as far as this, like, hey, my friend didn't understand the game and everything, like, I hear you, and that's fine. Like, the game's not going to magically be for everybody, and I don't think a tutorial is going to solve that. If they're really interested in the game, they will seek out that information and they will try to learn it and absorb it. Does that tier nerf affect items too? Like Seraph's is 30 mana? So Seraph's is 30 mana to start with, yes, but it still restores 20 mana on cast. I mean, we need a Valkyrie right now is what we need. We need a Kaisa. You mean games like Path of Exile and Final Fantasy Level? Those games were so hard to figure out. Yep. I mean, honestly, I remember when World of Warcraft first came out, like, learning all that stuff was super fun. That was one of the reasons I loved World of Warcraft back in the day, was, like, you had to learn how all the things work, and, like, I invented a really good combat rogue build that got me, like, top worldwide damage meters in a bunch of fights, and, like, that was fun, right? Like, that was the appeal. And if there was a tutorial that was like, this is exactly what you should build, it'd be like, no thank you. Right? Does Shojin ignore Mana Reaver debuff? Yes, it does. Shojin's is anti... Well, I mean, yes, assuming you're in Shojin state, it's anti-Mana Reaver. What kept me on League for 7 years was that it was always changing and I had to adopt and learn new stuff. Yep. Is Mana Reaver too good right now? Probably. Yeah, I mean, part of my streaming was to offer some of that, so if people had questions. I do want to do some, like, intro-esque videos. Because I do think there aren't enough new player resources out there, but I don't think in-game tutorials is the way to solve that problem. It's fine. We're losing right now, but we're losing to people who have like 20 gold, so... I mean, just grabbing the Aurelia is probably the call here. Nope. Okay. Fuck it. Is Scarra's intro video sponsored? Nope. They are not. I will say, by the way, it's completely off topic. The conspiracy theories about, like, Valorant's success being paid is just, like, so hilarious. There are so many people out there that thrive on hate that they would rather talk about how to make things fail than be happy for success. And that's really a shame. Do I also play Legends of Runeterra? I don't have time, unfortunately. I basically play TFT 95% of the time. What are some comps you think people underrate? I still think Six Blade Master is a little underrated, although it's starting to be a lot less underrated now. Is Shaco a bit too strong right now? Yes, he is a little too strong. A little. I don't think he's as strong as some people like to make him out to be, but he is a little too strong. Is the challenger spots for NA staying the same for the season? Yes, I believe so. I believe those are now the intended numbers. Okay, so we need a Yi or a Yasuo is what we need right now, and then another Kayle. In high elo, tier isn't even heavily contested. Chainsword are much more contested. Where did this concept that tier was OP and needed 25% nerf come from? So, first off, I never said tier was OP. What I said was, the difference between having a tier and not having a tier was too severe. It created some unbalanceable problems. For example, Vel'Koz. If Vel'Koz has 2 tiers versus Vel'Koz does not have a tier, is too drastic, right? So let's say I'm like, hey, Vel'Koz with no tiers is really suffering. Let's buff his mana cost. Well, then what it does is make Vel'Koz with tiers way too good. And so it put us in this situation where the impact of tiers was way too big. The impact of the items was too big. And so overall, we do think the impact of a single component, especially on casters, was too necessary. So, by nerfing the tier, it allows us to then put some power back into their base states so that if you don't get tiers, you can still play these builds, right? Because you should not only be able to play these builds with tiers. Right now, some of the most successful builds we're seeing are the builds that don't need specific items. Cybernetic, very flexible with items. Mech Infiltrator, very flexible with items. So trying to make more builds flexible with items is definitely something we want to do. There's the Yi. There's 6 Blade Master. I saw Toast make Nico Infiltrator. She jumped and stunned backline right away. So good. Yeah, that's a good build. This is the first time I caught the stream. Do you have a schedule for streaming? I usually only stream on the weekends, but with all the coronavirus quarantine stuff, I have had a little extra time. Oh, they have a Kayle. So sometimes I just wake up, and because I'm awake, I stream. Like, I just didn't sleep well last night, so I said, screw it, let's stream. Oh, I think we lose this. Oh! Pulled it out. Doesn't making comps less reliant on items cause less adaptation? No. No, I disagree. I think if anything, like, Mech Infiltrator, for all of its faults, I think is a great example of where you can be adaptable, where it's like, oh, I got swords, time to chase the Shaco. Oh, I got AP, time to build the Kaisa. Oh, I got defensive items. Like, it allows you to be adaptable based on what you got. Whereas if you're playing Star Guardian and you get bows, cool. Guess I just lose. I just got my 10th gemstone. What Hextech skin should I craft? Please, you're my only hope. I mean, if you ask me, you're gonna get Malzahar. Rammus is pretty sweet too, though. How can I get a Valorant early key? Watch Valorant streams. That's how that works. Woof. Woof. Those Valkyrie crits. Oh, the Zoe stun. Damn. Hey, Senchu. Long time no see. Can you fix RFC Ari bug? There is no bug. The not hitting the Shen is a little rough here. Do you know why the client is logging off randomly? I do not. I assume right now our servers are being hit really hard with all the corona stuff, so... What's the plan for making bows good on casters? Well, step 1 is we added a caster that can use bows, which is Xerath. Step 2 is we'll have to continue making some interesting items that casters can use. God, Kayle does so much damage. What's the effect of bows on Xerath? So Xerath's spell is he becomes his casting form, and then every auto attack is replaced with the cool, like, the missile. So more attack speed means he lobs more missiles during that time. Items-wise, I really don't give a crap. Locket is what we actually want, so armor. Because this is the kind of comp that needs a front line to survive so that Kayle can turn on, so I'll take a Locket. Hurricane plus Shojin isn't a good combo for casters. It's okay. It's okay for like high mana casters. But right now, I don't think there's any casters that make really good use of it. Like, the best is actually Zoe, which I wouldn't waste the items on Zoe. I need to know, how will Xerath ult work with Runons? It really won't. Like, it's not a good interaction. It's just, every time he shoots a missile, he'll also shoot a tiny bolt that does like 30 damage. So, Runons is not a good item for him. Tick, tick, burn. Have you considered buffing Fizz and Rumble with compensatory nerf to mech to make these units actually desirable? Yes. In fact, next patch there is a version of that is happening to Fizz. He's losing HP, which affects the mech, but getting attack speed, which makes him more desirable. We considered the same thing for Rumble, but had to be careful because we don't want to overdo it. So that's a thing that's also going to be considered. So TLDR is yes. Okay, now we just need to actually hit our carries. Xerath with Rageblade keeps increasing AS during auto even when he is stunned. What? I'm not even sure what you're saying. Xerath with Rageblade keeps increasing attack speed during auto. Rageblade increases with auto. What? I'm not sure what the problem is there. You're gonna have to be more clear. Have you considered making Jack in the Box or clone Shaco's ult? You're saying for Shaco? I guess. Okay, this is where we want to get Thresh in. Like, if we actually want to win this, the play is level to 9, get Thresh in. Is Blaster need a buff? I don't think they can fight other late game comps. Yeah, Jinx is getting a small buff next patch. Xerath with Rageblade keeps increasing his attack speed during his spell, even when he is stunned, not auto. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not true. If you have a video of that, I'm happy to take a look, but I'm pretty sure that's not true. Okay, so this just goes here, basically. Great. Is Caitlyn intended to still ult when she gets stunned mid-ult? Yep, her ult is uninterruptible. If it was interruptible, it'd be too weak. In regards to your example about not being able to play e-girls with no tears, don't you think the player comp should comp around what the game gives them? Like if you get bows to pivot? No. So that's actually, I think that's very bad for the game if items are dictating the build more than the actual champions, which is where we're at right now with a lot of builds. Like, one of the things that I think is bad is when you look at your board and, like, the game hands you 2 Jhins, and you're like, oh, 2 Jhins! And you're like, but I don't have 2 swords lying around for GA and IE or Bloodthirster or Hurricane or whatever. That feels real bad. Alright, we're win streaking. I think this is the play. Does double Hurricane Jhin work? Yes, that works just fine. Shen, thank you. 1-star Kayle and 1-star Aurelia. Yeah, feels kind of bad. But we're at endgame. We have our endgame build. Wouldn't that mean you have to nerf all the items and units? Synergies are more important. Yes, I do think that is something we need to be experimenting with. Buy some units on the bench. I've got 4. 4 should be enough. I mean, I can grab Wukong too. Shen's probably not living that long. I mean, Thresh didn't pull in anything, so... Hitting 2-star Lulu before Kayle, yeah. Feels a little bad. Hey, there's a Kayle. Now, if everything's working correctly, if we took this Kayle, the redemption should pop off. Which I'm like 99.9% sure will happen. So we're definitely taking the Kayle. Please don't, like... This is going to be one of those moments where everything works great, and everything will be fine, or I'm going to be embarrassed as shit. Let's find out. Duh. Yay, it all worked okay. Great. Problem solved. Okay. Redemption on Thresh. Does Chrono have their own carry? If not, should there be one? They don't right now, in my opinion. I think their carries are pretty much Valkyries and Jhin. Should they? Maybe. Maybe. What do you mean the redemption didn't pop off? It works on my machine. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is why I do not like Ginsu's on Kayle. I get that some people do, but like not having the tier makes such a difference. And this is again what I'm talking about. Like the difference between a 0 mana Kayle and a 20 mana Kayle or a 40 mana Kayle is just so massive. Nah, not worth. Actually, I think this is the play now. Is it 2-star or 3-star Shaco that you think is too strong? I think 3-star Shaco is especially too strong. I think 2-star Shaco is a tiny bit too strong. Just a tiny bit. Cho for your bench? Nah. We got the Wukongs. Wukongs are better here. Already seen 2-star Shaco do 20k damage in a turn. Okay, I will say that's also one of the things that infuriates me too, is when people are like, look, damage number is big, therefore champ is OP. And it's like, yeah, 3-star Jhin hits for 400,000, sure. 390,000 of that was overkill damage. It doesn't really mean a lot. Okay, we need to hit Aurelia, this, and we can just grab legendaries. Okay, that's worth. I sent you a tweet earlier about a bug with Fizz. I put a Negatron cloak on his glove to make QSS, but the items didn't combine. Yes, I'm aware of that bug. That is a bug that is really specific timing. By the way, we're just going to beat a 3-star Jhin here, probably. Yep. It's a bug with the timing on the mech. If you put the item right as the mech's combining. It requires very specific timing, so it's not a huge deal. But it's not, like, it should be fixed at some point. If you get 3-star Jhin, you earned the win. Well, I mean, we just stomped him into the ground, so... I don't know, our comp is, like, really good right now, so... Hitting Aurelia would be nice. Hitting Wukong and GP would be fine. Who do you watch? Streamers, TVs, movies? I watch every streamer I can, actually. I try to watch as many as possible. Ooh, good Jhin ult. Lulu ult. Kill the Echo. Okay, good. Whew. Echo's one of the ones I do worry about with this build. Oh god, we win this. Nice. Hey, Snus. Appreciate the sub. Hope you're doing good. That Jhin has no GA, so no surprise he explodes. Yep, that's true. Yay, 2-star Gangplank. Ooh, another Locket. That's great. Double Locket on frontline is real good. Hey, Wukong, that feels good. And I'll take that. Three-star Jhin is one of the most useless 3-star forecasts. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Actually, like, the amount of free lifesteal he gains just from hitting that hard, I don't agree with you. Wee, go Kayle, go. Hey, that redemption. Woohoo! Again, redemption also really underrated. I don't know, it's looking like a first, folks. Should we grab another GA for the hell of it? Probably. Yeah, let's grab another GA. T-Worst Senpai, appreciate the Twitch Prime. Appreciate that a lot. Alright, who wants a GA? Thresh. Thresh can have a GA. Alright, Aurelia. Aurelia. No Aurelias. No. Damn. Ooh. I think this is better than this. Yeah. Because it might chain. Why can't we see the damage outputs of the units Thresh pull in? Minor bug, probably. That poor Jhin 3 player is out. That's a shame for him. Lulu ult coming now to stop the echoes. Thank you. And that's the game. Easiest wins of my life. Love this build. My favorite build this patch, by far. Yes, I know it was a normal game, but